What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what's going on with these Transformers games. Now, originally, I was just going to talk about Transformers Reactivate, but I thought, you know what? 2024 and in 2025, what could be coming? It's not only Transformers Reactivate that might get something, it's also, War for Cybertron, Fall, Devastation. These are all things that I've covered, as this year has gone, and pretty good indications, whether it's ratings board or whether it's kind of being added to the back end of certain stores or Steam, kind of behind the scenes updates on Steam. There's a lot going on with those old Transformers and Activision, like the Deadpools of the world and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And so, it's not just Transformers. There's like a collection of them, but Transformers is a big part of it, and it gives me an excuse to talk about Transformers Reactivate. So let's start with Reactivate, because that one I feel is more depressing. It's actually unreal that of the two, right? Reactivate and then old Transformers games that have been delisted, they're gone, they're dead, right? They're more than dead, they're buried. They have the better chance of showing up in 2025 than Transformers Reactivate. I feel that so strongly. I mean, I was trying to think of like a more impactful phrase to say, but I really believe that. So let's start with the one that's more depressing. This year has been absolutely nothing for Transformers Reactivate. In fact, I would say, right, if you look at like a timeline or like a bar graph, okay, it's actually gone in reverse. It was a net negative in 2024 more than a net positive. So not only did we not hear a single thing, okay? When we were promised things even before this year, we didn't get nothing in 2024. Not just that, but things were actually removed. Accounts were deactivated. Like literally, now, okay, people have said, and I believe them, you can look it up yourself too, like I think their Instagram page was shut down. And, if you're inactive on Instagram for a certain amount of time, they can do that. So it's not like, it's not the game has to be canceled. The game could be canceled, okay? I want to float that out there. The game could be canceled. But for the most part, I think it's just inaction or inactivity. It's just not being active anywhere, but posts have been deleted. I think the Twitter post of announcing Transformers Reactivate back at the Game Awards a few years ago, like that's gone. The only thing that's still up and like actually running is their website. The actual announcement social media page wise is actually, so I don't know. I find that personally funny. I don't know if other people do. Probably they find it like a mix of depressing and funny, but things were actually removed from the internet with this game in 2024 versus added. So I don't really know how much worse it can get, beyond that. I guess, I mean, if you want to look at it optimistically, you can only go up from here, right? You can only possibly show things. You can't possibly, the only thing you could remove more of in 2025 is if you shut the website down, in which case I would believe that the game is absolutely gone, right? I want to believe in this game. I want to believe that, there was, I think, a few weeks ago, resurfaced gameplay. I'm not going to show it. I just don't know, trouble versus not trouble on YouTube. I think there was leaked gameplay from like 2020, years ago, years, and I don't even think it was when it was with splash damage, but, this game looks good. It's not my preferred type of game. When I think of Transformers games, I think of my favorite types of games like War and Fall of Cybertron. Like those are amazing games, and that kind of more single player, linear type style, third person kind of shooter-ish thing. I really like it, and Reactivate is gonna have some of that, but obviously more like live service multiplayer like. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna give it a chance. I want to support it. I want to be part of it. I want to be part of leading. I want to make update videos on this game being announced and having news and showing trailers and having a beta and being able to play that beta, so on and so on. Like that's what I want. And instead we're sitting here talking about nothing and then 2020 gameplay, and then also things just being removed from the internet. That's what we're here talking about. And look, when I talk about games like Reactivate or Wolf Among Us or Hollow Knight, it's easy to say, and I probably do say it, I slip up. It's probably easy to say like, well, next year has to be these like demands, right? They have to do this at this time. And I mean, the stupid answer is that no, they actually don't, right? Like they could go easily another year. 2025 could come and go, and we don't see anything of the game. But there is that feeling of like you gotta show something, because look, it's not even just multiple years since you showed the trailer. It's not even multiple years since you promised like a beta and opening it up. And like we are far, far removed from like when we were actually supposed to be able to at least like lightly play it. But not only that, like this game has switched development teams. This this game has been in development for a while, and even at the team that it's at right now, it's been in development for a while, like 4+ years. So I don't know. I really think it needs to be shown in 2025, but again, it's easy to say that, and then obviously nothing happens. But I'm not optimistic, but I do think the game is not canceled. I do think they're still making it, so hopefully next year is the time. And it's not about rushing it. It's not about getting it out like tomorrow, but it's about when you show it and when you've been working on it for so long and all this behind the scenes stuff. Like how long do you expect people to sit and wait for it? Okay, so that's one part. Again, that's the more negative side of Transformers. Positive side, to talk about the old Transformers games, I really do believe, to be more optimistic, I do believe 2025 is the year. This is something that, look, the Xbox rollout of Game Pass games, like the Activision games, going on Game Pass, it has not been what I thought. It's taking a while. You do have things like Crash and Spyro, like they're finally making it, they're finally jumping in, and that's great. I mean, that's what I like to see. But ultimately, you've got a lot of like mentioned earlier, you got a lot of Marvel stuff. You got the Transformers stuff. I did imagine they would hold off a bit, but older games like Modern Warfare 2, like the 08, 09, 10, the late 2000s era, I thought those would be like kind of immediate Game Pass things. I still think they will be. Not immediate, right? I think it was too quick. I jumped the gun. But I do think Transformers, like, you can't really argue with those ratings boards. You can't really argue with those behind the scenes things. Like, I've made the videos. You guys have may or may not have seen them. Like, when you get rated, there's something out there, like something is releasing. When you're updating the Steam, database, like backlog stuff, like there is things happening. So I believe 1,000%. Now, as I always say, like, is it going to be a shadow drop? Is it something that's going to be like an Xbox event and it's like a big deal? I think it's a big deal, like, to get these games. These games, as I constantly say, right? These games are expensive too. If you want to get them, like, I have them physically. I have Devastation. I actually only have, I think, those 3 Transformers: Devastation, War, and Fall. I want many more of them, but those are the ones I have physically. They are not cheap. They're not $5-10. They're $40, $50, $60 depending on which one you're talking about. So I want it just for like that kind of market type thing. I just want to be able to relive it natively, being able to like download it on the console, not needing the disc. It's always going to be good to have those, and physical media is very important, but to kind of open it up to the people that were around in the late 2000s that were playing these games, and to get brand new people, maybe it'll make Reactivate look good or bad by the time that game comes out. It's like, if these older games are out there and people are enjoying War and Fall again and remembering just how good they are, and then you get Reactivate and it sucks, well, that's not obviously going to look very good, but one thing at a time, right? So I don't know. I believe those things are happening. I think there's like a long-term plan. Maybe you sprinkle it throughout 2025. And again, there's been enough evidence in 2024. These things do come. Like Crash came, Spyro came, but it took much longer than you would think like you actually need to put these games on. It took a while, but we are getting them. It's just like a slow drip and a little bit more strategic, I guess, if you want to say it's strategic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.